lingo.
What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a boring conversation and make it a lot more interesting. You're going to see real life Infield examples of me and Scotty turning around conversations that are going nowhere and making them a lot more exciting. So we went out with the goal of getting into boring conversations with girls so we could show you guys how to turn things around. So the first one is going to be Scotty talking about the weather, the most boring topic ever.
Weather here?
I live here. I've been living here for 14 years.
Oh, so you're used to it.
Yeah.
I like the season.
No, it's too humid. So
Super boring so far. Let's see how he turns it around.
humid.
What do you want to? You want to go to New York together? We should go to New York.
I've gone to New York. It's okay.
The snow?
You're from New York?
Now, this may seem very subtle, right? But notice what he did there, right? He's using the we frame. He's using like kind of like a flirty hypothetical. So you want to go to New York together? Obviously, it's not going to happen. But these kind of flirty hypotheticals definitely make things more interesting.
Too cold most of the time.
Oh wow, look at that.
What am I looking at?
You don't know what's on your neck?
My cross?
And now he made the conversation physical, right? He added physicality to the convo by finding a little excuse to touch her. And you can do that with pretty much everything. Like, oh, it's a cool bracelet, right? But again, that kind of, physical touch adds sexual tension to the convo, which makes things a lot more interesting. Now let's take a look at an example of me. No, I said, you really got a government job?
Oh, yes.
That's pretty cool, right out of college.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, we all do. Well, not all of us.
So just talking about work here, again, super boring topic. This is a trap a lot of guys get into. They talk about work and they're like, how do I get out of this?
But she just started, she got a new job with the court system in Baltimore. I work for a federal government agency. She's going back to get her master's. She's becoming a nurse. She's a model, and she's a manager.
Okay. But here's the really important question. How do you feel about white guys?
I never dated a white guy.
So here what I'm doing is I'm asking an interesting question, a bold question, right? Because a lot of guys are going to be afraid to ask something like that. How do you feel about white guys to black girls, right? But notice how she starts paying a lot more attention to the conversation because things are becoming more interesting. You've been missing out.
Yeah, everyone say y'all guys are pretty cool.
Once you go white, you always make it right.
Oh, that's a good one. Y'all, we gotta steal his lingo. Once you go white, you always go right.
Notice how much more interesting it's become in like 30 seconds. And what I'm doing here is I'm just fucking around, right? I'm cracking jokes, but more importantly is I'm saying shit that a lot of people would be afraid to say, right? So that makes things a lot more interesting. Let's take one more example at Scotty. So we're now going to talk about...
I am Spanish, like everyone else here.
Yeah, Cuban though is like 80% of my...
So let's analyze what's going on so far, right? They're having a boring discussion about who's from where, the girl's looking around, and she's also on her phone. Now let's see how Scotty turns this one around.
Yeah, I think it is something like that.
Yeah.
I'm Colombian.
I like that you're very affectionate. Are you taking a picture of me?
No, I'm trying to pay, but I actually just don't want to tell you to let go. But...
It feels good because it's releasing oxytocin.
Okay. I need that.
Now look at this. Now her phone is down. She's paying attention. And what Scotty's doing is basically a technique where he's just kind of narrating the present. He's talking about them as a unit. So it's a lot more exciting to be like, yeah, it feels really good to hold hands. We're like releasing oxytocin right now compared to saying, so where did you grow up? Right? So it's just a lot more fun to talk about the present.
Gone.
Yeah. No, I understand totally.
I think it's good to hold hands because...
They do it in church, so it must be good in real life.
So now he's fucking around a little bit.
Technically, right? You know when you break bread, or what do they call it? Like they shake each other.
Break bread, drink blood.
You're so cute.
Well, good
Now he's adding physicality to the conversation, which also makes things a lot more engaging.
luck. What's your name again?
Look how good you fit in my arms, honestly.
What is your name?
Brian.
Brian! I'll never forget.
In case you missed it at the end, she says, I'll never forget it, referring to his name. But yeah, this is a massive transformation in 40 seconds, going from the girl just not paying attention at all to the girl being fairly engaged in the convo. So here's the lesson. The biggest thing when it comes to taking boring convos, making them more interesting, is changing your mindset. It's not being afraid to get rejected or not being afraid to creep the girl out. You want to take more social risk. You want to have that kind of I don't give a fuck energy, and convos will become naturally more exciting. That being said, there's some specific techniques you can use. Physicality is definitely a very easy one, right? If you're touching the girl, things are going to be a lot more interesting. Also, talking about both of you as a unit, right? Being in the present is a lot more exciting than asking questions about her past or future. And finally, there's some questions that are going to be a lot more interesting than other ones. But the biggest thing is, don't be afraid to take social risk and things will become a lot more interesting. All right, hope you guys found this breakdown valuable. And if you want to see more content like this, more Infield, then make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also go over to Sky's channel, hook him up with a sub as well. And now that you guys know how to make comments more interesting, you're going to need to start getting some dates, which is where my free Tinder guide comes in. Link is in the description. Shows you how to get good photos so you start getting more matches, how to write the kind of bio that makes you stand out, and of course text games so you can take all those leads you're going to get and turn them into dates. And it's 100% free. Link in description. Thank you guys, and until next time.